And let's jump into the first story. Southwest Airlines. From CNBC, Southwest drops plan to put unvaccinated staff on unpaid leave starting in December. Southwest scrapped a plan to put their unvaccinated workers with pending exemptions on unpaid leave after the December 8th deadline. Both American and Southwest require their new hire employees to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination before their first day. Large airlines are federal contractors and subject to a Biden administration order that requires their employees to be vaccinated or receive an exemption for medical or religious reasons. Now, I can respect the exemptions for medical and religious reasons. The problem is a lot of these companies are just outright denying them no matter what.
But this is a different case here because there's reports of Southwest executives literally going around the company asking people to please get the exemption paperwork. Please fill it out either for medical or religious purposes. So there's been an effort that people are reporting that they want them to get these exemptions. But this is a huge announcement. This is big. I mean, they're pretty much announcing that they're not going to be going along with this. Tim, you disagree here, but they're not going to fire employees, or in other words, put them on unpaid leave if they don't get vaccinated. They're not going to do that. That's a huge step to me that has been demonstrated through the Freedom Flu, through all the protests, through all the demonstrations, and through all the massive disruptions that we saw a couple days ago.
The people opposing the mandates are gaining ground. So this is a battle being won, but the war is still very much on.
Of course, 100%.
And here's what you got to understand. When they say new hires are still under the vax mandate, they're basically going to appease those who currently work. They're saying, well, doesn't affect me anymore, so I'm good.
Yeah.
And then new employees will have to be mandated. So what happens in 10, 20 years? The vax mandate stands.
We'll see how long the vax mandates are going to be implemented. I definitely agree with you. A lot of people think they're going to be temporary as long as COVID's going to be around. But as me and you know, and a lot of other people know, this is a long game. It's not going to be ending anytime soon. It benefits too many people. It benefits too many billionaires for it to stop. But this is still a major victory because the workers united here came together and said, hey, we don't like this policy. We don't want it. No. Go ahead.
I mean, there were some protests.
Yeah.
But we basically just saw people disorganized being like, nah.
Exactly.
That was scarier to this company.
Yeah.
Southwest is like, we're going to do this mandate. Oh, Biden's making us do it. And then a bunch of employees just called in sick.
Well, they knew.
They didn't organize it.
They knew forcing this would be worse for them than not forcing it. So this realization, that's the big story to me. And that's why I led with it. That's why I've been talking about it all day, because this is huge. And there's going to be reverberations of this all over the place because now people know that their voice actually matters when they come together and they speak up together.
As long as they don't back down.
Exactly. And
because I genuinely think most people, the smartest thing they could do was, only new hires have to be vaccinated. Because then people who already hired are going to be like, I'm good.
Yeah. Later down the line, that's going to have its effects.
It's doing it right now.
Exactly.
Right. So the vaccine mandate's there. This is an attempt to redirect. But it's probably still going to happen. It's probably still going to happen. And I'll tell you, I really don't think that the vaccines are the goal of the mandate. As you know, people who listen probably have heard me say a million times. Because if you look at the Chicago police, they're like, if you try and retire right now instead of getting vaccinated, we will take your benefits. We will go after your benefits. So very clearly, they're just trying to force people. You know, it's about the mandate, not about the vaccine part of it.
Also, it's also important in that specific case that a judge actually put a restraining order on the Chicago police union chief that's barring him from talking about the vaccine publicly. So this is a major fight that's happening between the police union, the mayor of Chicago, and this is not just in Chicago. There was also police and firefighters today in Seattle that decided that they were going to feed the homeless because they were fired from their public service jobs. Wow. And they came out, went on the steps of City Hall, took off their boots, left them there at City Hall. So there's been a lot of different demonstrations. There's been a lot of big protests in California. A lot of people took their kids out of school today because the kids are mandated to be vaccinated, and they took them to a protest. And there was protests all over California saying, no, we're not going along with these mandates.